Deciding to install a drip irrigation system can seem daunting. We spoke with 3 experienced Arkansas growers who use drip irrigation on their farms. We asked them to share their experience with drip irrigation. This video shows some of those highlights.
Well, I'm Grace Kirkpatrick, and this is Hannah's Berries, and we grow blackberries and blueberries, and we have 2 high tunnels that we grow tomatoes and just different summer and winter crops in. And we started the blueberries about 15 to 20 years ago, same thing with the blackberries. And then we added our first high tunnel about 10 years ago, and then we added the second high tunnel about 5.
So my name is Chris Linam, and this is Linam Farm. I'm a blackberry grower, and we've added some blueberries, and we plan on adding some raspberries this year. So we've been here 3 years, and this is our 2nd year to start selling.
So my name is McGarrah. This is Rivercrest Orchard. Here at our farm we grow blackberries, strawberries, watermelons, cantaloupes, raspberries, apples, pumpkins, and a lot of flowers. We purchased this farm in August of 2019 and started the build out in 2020, spring of 2020. Everybody's favorite year ever.
It's a good year to be building out.
And we opened for the full open in spring of 21.
A lot of it is in doing the research. I sat in on Dr. McWork's classes. That and the farmer next to me, he uses drip irrigation.
Food safety is #1, but #2, it doesn't require near as much water. Drip irrigation, you can manage the water a lot better. I use it on all edible crops. I don't use it like on our corn maze or our cut flower fields. That's all pretty much overhead. But all edible crops, I use drip irrigation.
The other thing that we've noticed is that we don't have as many foliar diseases because we don't water above. It's strictly in the ground. Since we do use surface water, of course you're going to have algae. We do a double filtration. I've got a filter down there at that pump, at the pump itself.
Okay.
And then I have a filter here. Those have to be changed really often. So I change them about once a week. I have filters, extra filters, and so I pull the dirty one out, put the clean one in, bring the dirty one, clean it, and all that. That's a weekly thing, or more often, depending on. It all depends on how much water I'm running. The other thing I have to do monthly, I try to do it monthly, sometimes it's a little bit more often, is I have to drain my lines. I have to flush them. Because once again, you think, well, it's all a closed system, it should be good, but stuff gets in there. That's another way for me to double check to make sure all my emitters are working. Because if I open up those lines and I got good water pressure coming out of them, that means all my emitters are working. And I do that monthly. You have to change the filters.
My most common problem has always been, the supply. It's always the supply and, sediment. That's my 2 big issues that I fight, and so it's water source and filtering.
Okay.
If you don't have a consistent water source, things will die. So I started with municipal water. It just didn't have enough pressure. So, and it was costing some money. So I thought I would drill a well and I could size a pump to suit my needs, but I found out that I didn't have enough water to supply the pump that I needed to make all this work. You're gonna need this much pressure to do all these at once. So I was trying to do that with the well, but I couldn't get there. I needed like 25 gallons per minute. and the best I could get was 10. It wasn't enough water in the well, so I would run the well dry and then it would have to recover. So that failed. So the next step was to dig a pond and attempt that. And so far, if everything is working properly, I can do 20 rows at once. It's nice to plan way ahead.
Any leak's a problem, whether it's a little leak or a big leak. And it's the same thing when I'm setting up my system, okay? Because you've got a filter, a pressure regulator, none of that can leak. Because then the whole purpose of the drip irrigation is to water the plants.
I think that our filtration system is really keeping us from having to flush them. If you were going to just pump straight out of a creek or a pond without any filtration, you would have to flush those things all the time. So like in my apples, I'll still do a broadcast application every year, but once the plants are in on everything else, we only irrigate or only fertigate through the drip. Absolutely, it's better when you can time your fertilizer application and get it right where you need it. Absolutely, I love the fertigation. And then also, if you don't run your irrigation on the front and the back of your fertigation at least long enough to flush the lines, it'll start to crystallize, and then you'll have clogged emitters from fertigation as well.
If you already have an existing irrigation system, adding the fertilizing to it is not hard. Not hard at all.
It was designed in the system from the start. You know, that was just something that when I planned out this whole blackberry farm, that fertigation was going to be part of the irrigation system. Yes, so one of the things that I had a lot of problems with was the injector that I was using for pulling the fertilizer out and injecting it into the system was too small. I mean, I would spend a whole entire weekend fertilizing 14 rows. I could only do 6 rows at a time with the pressure from municipal water, and then it was probably taking 10 hours to pull in 30 gallons of fertilizer. So a lot of it was just not having enough pressure, not having the right size injector, and with the new system and doing all the math with the proper size lines, now I can do like 50 gallons of mixed fertilizer, and I can do it in like an hour and a half, because I'm using a 26 gallon per minute injector. So
making sure you get the right size injector.
It's really important.
Yeah.
I've winterized 2 times, and basically I designed in at the bottom of the hill a distribution box that's below ground so that I can drain all the PVC below ground. And then at the end of all my rows, so my drip irrigation is above landscape cloth, so I can see all my lines. And so I can just disconnect the ends, and then we just blow everything out. So it's pretty easy to winterize. Number one, get everything sized, do your research, talk to a professional that knows how to size all the irrigation, and then work it backwards. If you know that you're doing so many feet of whatever you're growing, then size your pump accordingly, and then decide if your municipal water will work, if a well will work, or if you're gonna have to use some kind of pond.
Before you do anything, get your water source. Get your water source. I mean, figure out, go ahead and kind of, even if you're doing a high tunnel, how are you going to get water to that high tunnel? Before you start putting up your high tunnel, go ahead and get that mapped out. Draw it out. Go ahead and dig as much of the lines as you can until you get the high tunnel built, because it's going to be inside the high tunnel. and timers. Plants do better when everything is consistent. Everything remains the same. And you're only going to get that through a timer. You're not going to get it through hand irrigation.
That'd be my advice, just oversize your system all the way. If you think you only need 1 1/4" headlines, put in a 2-inch line. If you think you only need a 2-inch, put in a 3-inch. Because you never know what you're going to add, where you're going to add something. Maybe you want something over there that you weren't planning on. Now you don't have enough water to move past here to get to there. I guess my second piece of advice is to talk to an engineer and let them help you lay it out. And there's a lot of places that have them, because when I say they'll send a guy up, they're not sending them up tomorrow. They'll send them up this year.
Okay, so plan ahead.
Yeah, plan ahead for sure.
Support for this project is provided by the USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service. Thanks for watching.